Now then, crew, and welcome back to the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. And this is the last episode, episode 4 of the workstation build. The last episode, it was actually edited up completely to the end, and it was like 2 hours long. It was way too long, so that's why that one finished a bit weird at the end. Apologies for that, but we are back, and this is some pretty good viewing in my opinion. Here we go. We're just going to crack on. See you shortly. Used.
You don't paint something without warping.
Honestly. Ta-da! Look at this. It's really old. It's had a lot of use, but I think it's been reasonably well looked after. It came obviously with the fence, which is very important. I've fitted a brand new high tooth blade to it, so we get a nice clean cut. So I didn't want a rip blade on there. And it is a 10-inch deluxe tilt arbor saw bench model SFR10 by Tanner. Now, Tanner Engineering was based, I don't think they're there anymore, was based in Penrose in Auckland, New Zealand. So it's been made in New Zealand, and it's the Tanner Tool Division. Very smart. Now, it's a compound saw bench, which means we can also tilt the blade by up to 45 degrees, and I can do that for you now actually. So you just turn this little dial here, you can see, oh hang on, that's the up and down. Oh Andy, what are you playing at? Right, we'll knock that off again. Hang on, round this side. So if you watch the blade, and I'm going to turn this handle down here, look. That's, I like that look. Great logo, Tanner Quality Machines, New Zealand made. Very cool. So if you watch the blade, I'm going to take off the lock. There we go. And now, if I rotate this one, I can actually cut. Hang on, we'll just move the fence. There we go, slide that out of the way. Keep turning, Andy, keep turning. There you go. And if you look down here, you can see the little needle is moving, and you can go up to 45 degrees, which is right on the stop there, look. So I can do a 45 degree cut as well as a vertical, and anything in between, which is extremely cool. Now, are we there yet? That's about right. And then once that's done, you then lock off the red knob in the middle. This one's really stiff and I need 2 hands, so I'll leave that for now. I will remember. Now, it also came with an angly thing that slides in here. Protractor? I don't know. Whatever. You can undo that. It's got little adjusters here. Look, to set it also for your 90s and your 45s. And you can remove that out of the way, and then you can turn it to whatever you want. Now that, and look at the quality. It's really thick. And some of the modern saws, this is made out of plastic. This is steel. Not steel, it's like cast aluminium stuff, isn't it? But it's still really, really good. So, and somebody, come back. There we go, it's better. Somebody, you know, has used this and done a lot of work over the years, and they've taken really good care of it. The one thing I did notice is for the guard here, underneath this plate that you remove to change the blade, or to remove the guard if you're really, really brave, or you have to remove it for sometimes. Where the guard, where this bracket here fits onto the cast iron underneath, there's been a repair. So this guard isn't particularly strong. And every time I flex it, you can see the bonding underneath fail. In fact, hang on, let's get the stand, hang on. We'll take that cover off and I'll show you exactly what I mean. It's always good to get new tools, or new to me anyway. I also do like getting the older equipment rather than brand new stuff because it's usually better built, much more solid, and often a lot cheaper as well, and just giving the machine a whole new lease of life rather than it ended up on the scrap heap, which happens to a lot of very good pieces of kit. Nothing wrong with them, they're just not needed anymore. Anyway, the problem is down here. Let me take you a bit closer. That should do. Clink, magnet on, and we'll zoom you in. I think we need some light. There you go. Okay, so this is all cast iron, the big cast iron bracket. Now I'm hoping it's only this piece that's come off and it's not been repaired further down on the other web. I think that's just sawdust down there. I'm hoping anyway, this bit. Yes, it does look like sawdust. I think we're okay. But here it's had some kind of glue stuck on it to try and glue this bracket back into place. Maybe they didn't have a welder, don't know. So I don't know how long that glue is going to last for, and I don't know exactly the limit of damage, the amount of damage that's occurred. Is it partly broken off? Is it completely broken off? I have no idea. So if you see the guard fall off in a video later on, that's why. And then I'll have some more fixing to do. Do I want to use the saw without the guard? Not really. I'm not that confident using a saw bench. It's many years since I've used one, and at the moment I have 8 fingers and 2 thumbs, and I really want to keep it that way. And lots of people lose fingers on cut-off saws and saw benches, so we need to be super careful. Don't want to hurt Mrs. Mechanic, that's for sure, or myself. Wouldn't be good. I mean, I need my fingers. So plan of attack is next we're going to sort through the timber, wide planks, narrow planks, and then decide what the wide planks will all be in width, and that's going to be, I think, dictated realistically by the most narrow wide plank. But I want to keep them as wide as I can, and we may not need to use all the timber, so I think we might have a little bit of leeway. But I've got to do some sums and work things out. So we'll do that. We'll see you shortly. Making sure it's staying at the center. Keep your eye on the fence. You went like that side and you pulled it away from the fence. Got to stay against the fence. You've got to keep it tight there and tight here. Yeah, nope. Keep it straight. That's like the most critical part of using one of these. It's got to come through parallel. If you twist it at all, then you end up with a narrow bit of wood. It's really difficult, but you see we've got a nice cut now. That's rubbish. So all the time we're watching the gap here, all the way along. You've got to keep it against that bit of wood all the way down. That's just that yard, isn't it? It's really hard to push. Taking the guard off, I'm sorry.
It's quite stiff, isn't it? It sticks.
It's jamming in the wood. You can see the wood actually. You see it's got narrower
Yeah.
after we've cut it. So there must be that tension in the wood. Got to take the guard off. I don't want to take the guard off. I have to take the guard off.
Because
It's jamming on the wood. After all that. One thing we can do is we can lower the saw down. Doesn't need to be as high as that. Which means it will chop your entire arm off. Okay, so we're going to go again, alright?
I don't like the end of it. We've got to keep the woods parallel. Did you see the blade go as you pulled it out? Cool. Okay, so we've got, ideally, a piece of wood that is now 31mm thick and exactly 200mm wide. And that's the first plank for your desk. Yay!
Alright, we now need to cut that one. This one's going to get cut down, because it's going to be as long as this, it's going to get cut down to something, we don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
So pop that over there, let's do the cut on this one. And then they'll both, as I said, they'll be brothers then, you see, all kinds of brothers. Always walk from here, get the blade, here and there. Yeah, there's no gap. Good job. That was so much better. Right, so he's done. I wonder how we can make it easier for you. It's a shame the bed doesn't extend this way, isn't it? You know what I mean? So you can keep it flat on the bed.
It's very hard to try and keep it flat, and
It
you're
is.
pushing it, and I'm trying to not pull it or do anything with it. But I can't, I'm not allowed to pull it, but I'm not allowed to, I just seem to feel like I've just got to hold it, but try and hold it against here, and if I do that, I get through, so it's like, oh my goodness.
now known as the Saw of Doom. Yes, it's got no guard, which I really am quite concerned about. But also, poor old Mrs. Mechanic was really struggling to keep the wood parallel to the cutting deck, the top of the surface of the saw bench, but also keep the wood parallel to the disc itself, the actual blade, which was a real problem. We had to stop filming. I got a bit upset. Anyway, I've come up with a plan. Let me show you what I cobbled together. So here we have an extendo bed, and hopefully Mrs. Mechanic's going to be okay now, because it wasn't good at all. We had a very badly oscillating blade at one point. So now, as the wood comes over the cutting deck, this is the same height, hopefully, not going to catch on there. And we've got an adjustable guide here, look, a fence that runs all the way down. So I can set that parallel to the fence on the machine. So Mrs. Mechanic doesn't have to carry the weight of the wood, and all she needs to do is keep the wood up against this secondary fence until it's completely past the blade, and that should eliminate that problem altogether. So we've finished cutting the the widths for the desk timber. That's the nicer of the timber assortment that we've got. All we need to do now is do the cuts for the shelf. That's the upper timber, which is not as nice, and we've got the idea now what we need to do, so we're just going to crack on. Okay, we've done a pair of planks at 100, a pair of planks at 105, pair of planks at 155, pair of planks at 145. We're just trying to maximise the use of the timber. So we've got 50, that's 100, so we're at 505. And the target is around about 620 approximately, 610, 620. 600 is the final width. So we need another 115 millimeters wide pair of planks. Right, what have you got there?
Potty one.
They aren't very good, are they?
No.
This side's better than that side, isn't it? Yeah, so if we cut that bit off, we'll be a lot happier.
Yeah.
So 115, ooh, cuts rid of some of it, doesn't it?
Mm.
Is that one any better? Just lift that one up. So if we cut that 115, pretty rotten there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not good. Okay, bin that one. So we're going to have to cut. So we could do 110 at a push.
Oh yeah, because that you might be able to get.
So let's make it 110. And let's do our main cut on this side here, yeah? To get rid of all that crap. Okay, 110 it is. So first cut 115. Oh shit.
Yeah, it's 115.
So 115 first cut. I'll get rid of most of it, and that can be the side you don't see anyway. Okay. So yeah, 115, and then the cut on this side 5mm down to 110. Okay, 115 first cut. That gives us 615mm total width. Right, next job is we've got to cut the planks as pairs to be a total of 2400mm. That then gives us, once it's all glued up, we can then trim the ends by 50mm or thereabouts to suit the frame, the final cut, before we sand, test fit, sand, paint. Guess who's doing the sanding and painting, honey?
You are.
Nope, wrong answer.
Marmite.
Yes. Shop dog will do all the sanding and painting. No, that's your job. And then I'll be on with workstation number 2. Mine, the ultimate workstation. Well, I think my extendo bench worked extremely well. There was a few minor modifications to make, a few little tweaks here and there. The original fence was jamming against it at certain points because there wasn't enough of a gap, but you know, we got there, and it was really, it took me what, half an hour to make it, and it took all the stress, well, nearly all the stress away from doing what we were doing. If there'd been a safety guard on it, I'd be a lot happier. I'm going to have a look at that at some point in the future. Sooner rather than later, I would hope. So the next job is, we've got all the planks as pairs cut to a width. Now this isn't what we originally planned. We originally planned to have wide planks and narrow planks, just 2 different widths. It just wasn't possible. Some of this timber was really bad and rotten down the sides and bits and pieces, so we had to just try and maximize what timber we could use, and that meant varying the widths. And all we've got left from all of that is 2 pieces. It's not a lot, is it? You know? So we were pretty much, one is completely shot really, and the other one has got a massive knot hole in it where the knot's fallen out. So again, that's pretty useless. So we were against the wall. Right, we're going to have an ice cold drink. Just try and cool down a bit because it's absolutely roasting today. And then we'll work out cutting the pairs of planks to an overall length of 2.4 meters. Once that's done, then we're going to look at working out how we're going to do the little, the non-biscuits, the little steel pins to link everything together. And then once that's done and those holes are drilled, we can glue it and clamp it. And that'll be the end of the day for today because we're getting pretty knackered. Right, time for a break. Oh, here's a note from Tool Girl Holly. Holly, over to you.
Now then, crew, Tool Girl Holly here. Don't miss the next live stream, 8:30 AM Sunday.
Probably that bit, right? Okay, 890. Right, let's go. And we're going to keep that bit. Okay, one more cut. So that's a pair. So let's call that pair A. Okay, that's done. You can stack that over there. Right, the next pair. It's steady. They're not both not bad actually, are they?
No,
I think out of the two, what's that like on the underside?
I was trying to do.
That's not the greatest.
No.
Okay, let's call this the master and we'll leave that as it is. So that is 138. 1380. 2400 minus 1380. 1020 out of this one. So where's the bad bit?
This here.
Okay, flick it around there. 1020 from there. 1020. There we go. You're going to keep that bit. Right, the cut. We'll call that
There's a
B.
nastier job, that, isn't it?
Okay.
There's a more rough one.
Oh, well, that's why we've got you as a sander. Right, B. We'll call that B. Okay, so they're done. You can have those. Next. Okie dokie, so you want the widest one nearest where you sit.
I think so. I think that'll work better.
Okay. And then you want probably that one, because that looks nice. And then you probably want, do you want a fat one and the thin one just at the back, or do you want that nice strip to be next to the other pink one? Decision for me. Okay, it's going to go there. And then we got that one. Okay, so now what we need to do is stagger the joints. So, it's not very big this bench, is it?
Nope.
So that one's going to go on there. Right, that way up. Yes, that's nicer. Push that one down. That will then go on there. Just sit it there for now. That one goes down here. And then you want circling down, don't you? Obviously.
Yeah.
Naff, isn't it? That was the one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, circle up. You can have a hole in your bench.
Well, why don't they swap these two around?
So this is right at the back. This is the front. Computer desk, right? Here. That's the back. So do you want that at the back? You have to answer the question.
And I was thinking, aren't I allowed to think? Well, the hole will get in the way of things, won't it? That's all I'm thinking.
Let's put it at the back, and then it might be a cable hole.
Yeah. Make use of it.
Okay, so lift that one up, stick it over there. Easy to go with it. That's that one there. And then we'll have that one over here. Go down, down, down. Go down. There we are. That's down. Right. This one here. Right, is that how you want it?
I think that'll work better.
That works better, okay. And then the big one, that goes down there. Push those down a bit. And that one will go on there like that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Last pin. So we will have, as predicted, 6 pins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pins. And 2 of the pins will always be in the short bits, and 4 of the pins will be in the long bits. And that's perfect. So now we need to make a template. Now we know the wood essentially is 30mm thick. So we ideally want a piece of steel that's 30mm thick. Okay. It needs to be steel to be accurate. We need to find some steel. Well, it turns out we don't have a piece of metal, flat bar, long enough. But I did find a single piece of Dexian, which isn't long enough, but it has lots of holes in it. So I thought I'd use that. So I can drill 4 holes in one go, and then we can move it along, fit the pegs, move it along, peg it in so it's lined up again, and drill the last 2. I'm a bit concerned we are introducing potentially compound error into drilling these holes, but I've got no other choice, and it's far better than doing one, marking the wood and just drilling the hole randomly, because it won't be accurate enough. I need to get these as accurate as I possibly can. Now, Mrs. Mechanic also asked me why I've got a bit of tape on my drill bit. Well, I did tell her, but she didn't believe me. The reason is that I want to judge how deep the hole is that I drill. Remember, the pins that we're going to be using are 40mm long, so the hole only needs to be 20mm deep. If we make it too deep, the pin could go way too far into the wood and be hardly any of it left to go into the adjacent piece of timber. So, piece of tape, doesn't cost anything, 20mm in from the end of the drill bit, job's a carrot. That'll do nicely. Oh, for a biscuit machine, that's all I can say. You'd be like, what's one of them? It's not a biscuit machine, is it?
Isn't it when they compress all the wood?
Well, you decide where you want a piece to go, a link piece to go between the 2 planks, right? And you put it on and you press the button and it goes nyeh, and it just ekes out a little notch in the wood. And then you buy the biscuits, not from the Tesco's, but you buy the biscuits from a woodworking place, and they're like almost like a
chip,
like an eye shape, like that kind of shape. And they're sort of self-center, the design of them. They're pretty clever, actually. Don't have those.
No.
So we're going to be using that metal rod. So we've got lots and lots of those to cut up next, because I have to fit those next, which will be the pegs. And I can use the pegs to shuffle this along. I can find a bit of timber or something to clamp up the other piece to extend it through. I've still got 2 more holes to do. One, the next 2 will be in this piece of timber here, which goes that way around. Boom, like that. And then we can drill the holes on the adjacent piece of timber, but not in the same way. I have to transpose these holes onto, because I've got to fit this in the other orientation. So I've got to use other holes for that. So this will be the starting point, which could be a problem. Yes, I think it will be a problem. Okay, we've got to get over that problem next as well. Okay, pins. I'm going to cut some pins, honey. Watch out for the sparks, it'll damage your lens. Right, finishing time. There you go, honey. Find a home for that. This is the easy bit. The next bit. Try not to get your wood all rugby as well. Okay, so we've done 4 holes so far, and they're not central to the wood, which is another reason. It's just the way it is, but it's good enough. As long as they're all in the same place, respectively, we'll be alright. So these can now go in. 10mm hole, 9.97mm diameter rod, plus rust. Means tight fit. Pretty good, isn't it? Perfect. So now we can get our stuff. We should be able to got 2 more holes to drill, so we should be able to peg those 2 into there. Like this. Hopefully. Emery cloth time. Now of course it won't come off. A little bit of emery cloth. We should have emery cloth the steel before we started. I'll do that when I do my workstation. This is just a prototype. That doesn't mean to say it's the shit one. It's just technically the prototype. So we're working our way through it at the time. But yeah, bit of emery cloth on there. It should fit like a glove. They all look a bit wonky, to be fair.
Well, that one's really wonky.
That one down there.
And that end one, actually. That's why they won't go in, because they're wonky donkeys.
Why? You're 10mm. It's a 10mm rod. Why is it not going on? Is it because it's wonky donkey, do you think?
Yeah.
My plan is being thwarted. Can't mark the wood, can't mark the wood, can't mark the wood. This bit looks great. The idea was fantastic.
The idea was spot on, but you got wonky donkeys. If you didn't have wonky donkeys, I think it would work.
I can always straighten them up. Because it is only wood, right? I think I drilled them perfectly. I think the wood has just decided to take revenge. One split the wood.
I'm going for a bigger hammer.
No, same size hammer, just additional tooling required. Because I'm not messing around anymore. So now we need a clamp across there, which we've got a big one actually. Here's one I prepared earlier. This is actually a proper woodworking one as well, which is really cool. Hopefully we've got enough room for it. I think you'll have your work cut out sanding this wood.
Yeah.
So let's have that one on there. Make sure it goes down, and then we'll have that one, obviously not marking your wood, we'll have that one on there, make sure it goes across. And then we'll have this one, which goes under here, like that. You know we said we'd have all the arrows at the ends. Oh no, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. The arrow just points that way. It doesn't have to be at that end. Everything's fine. We're not wrong. No, really, we're not wrong. Do you want to come round here? You've got spare hands.
Do you want me to hold anything?
Yes, the wood. You got it? Right. Wood, you clamps, okay. Oh, you know what? I love it when a plan comes together. Has this plan come together? We don't know yet, to be fair. Yeah, the theory's right. Oh, look at that, that's nice. These are already tentatively clamped because I daren't mark the wood. Why, this is mechanical or mental. That's my desk. Look, big clamp marks on it. Took me ages sanding out. Well, it's supposed to be the same thickness.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fine. Right. Okay, we're going in. Now to make sure it's nice and vertical. Perfect. Almost like a professional. Now, before we hammer these next ones in, I'm going to clean them off in the vise, I think. Be prudent. If I can find memory cloth. There it is. There we go. Right, we pop those in there now. Very good. I like that. Now, if it looks on the camera that it's a bit wonky, it's not. It's lens distortion. It's absolutely perfect. Now, screwdriver, remove template. Guide. I'll call it a guide. Is it worth doing it like this? I think so. It's got to be right. Now, this went like that. So now it needs to go like that. But the distance, because we're using a bit of scrap Dexie, right? The distance from the end hole to the end of the Dexian is different at this end as it is this end. Problem. So I'm going to have to, that's going to cause a bit of an issue, to be fair, I think. It really is. So I'm going to have to measure that and take it into account. Place your bets now. Is it going to line up? One way to find out, isn't there?
Yep.
So,
Just do it. Just do it.
right, that's the top. You can see the top. That's not even clamped down because I can't clamp it down. Bench is too small. Right. That's the top. That's the top. That should line up with that.
Drum roll. It's a long drum roll.
I need magic hammer. So I need a bit of wood. You haven't put any glue in yet either.
No.
So maybe we'll just leave it like that.
Yeah.
And that. Go in there. So I think we're on to a winner. So what we need to do now is put some glue on this. And obviously what we haven't got is glue in these joints. So I'll have to take that off first. Glue on there. It's going to get quite messy. Wear some gloves. glue on that joint. I have no way of clamping in that direction, clamping this joint. I haven't got clamps that long. The longest clamps I've got are 800 mil. But I think we should glue this tonight because we're running out of time today. We'll glue this tonight, and then tomorrow I can drill and peg the other two. Maybe we'll glue those as a pair.
I said do them in pairs.
And then we'll glue the whole lot
together.
That might be a bit easier. Although it does mean a lot more gluing processes. Right. Gloves. We need gloves. And it'll need to be laid flat to glue it as well. That's only one clamp, that's easy. So we need to get that lot out of the way. Ooh, it's been a long day, it really has, but I've had some cider, so that's all good. Now the glue we're going to use is called Type Bond 3, the ultimate wood glue. And this one is waterproof and you can use it for interior and exterior. It's not cheap. I mean, look, nearly $70 for a less than a litre of glue, which is a lot more than I thought wood glue was going to be. But anyway, it says to apply a liberal amount to, it doesn't say to both surfaces, it just says clean and dry joints, should fit tightly, apply a heavy spread of glue to the surface and clamp for a minimum of 30 minutes. So I think we've only got to put the glue on one side, which will be a bonus. Now, I do need to put glue first of all on the butt joints of the sort of the small brother of each plank. I can't clamp it up, we're just going to hope for the best with those, but then we can spread the glue on the other stuff. It's going to get a bit messy, going to wear some gloves, and Mrs. Mechanic's here to film the mess. She's just got back from getting some cigarettes, so that's perfect timing. Right, here we go. I am going to be moving it down anyway because I've got to do the butt joints. I've got to do that butt joint down there first. But the good news is we get to use our new woodworking clamps, which are over there from Brandon.
Cool.
That's really interesting to see how that works. Never used it before. Okay, glue. Obviously we've got to break the seal somehow. Oh, I see. So does that come straight out of there? Do we have to do anything? I don't know.
No, it should come straight out of
hear
there.
it. Yeah, that's good. Okay, got a spatula. So first job is to drop it down from the clamp. This is going to be immense amounts of fun. And I think you're right, doing it in sections, gluing it up is going to be a lot easier. Way. Okay. That was perfect, wasn't it? Okay, so we need some glue on there. Oh, it's going to get messy, isn't it? I can see it happening. It said a liberal amount. I wouldn't call that liberal, would you?
No, I'd call that sparse.
It's expensive.
That's better.
$70 a tube, this stuff. I'm not buying any more. Oh, we get about 9 minutes before it starts to set. There's your first problem, Mr. Young. Right. So it goes down that way. Okay. Okay, that's up. I think the next job will be to glue way in that joint, the main joint, all the way across.
I concur.
So I'm just going to clamp that back onto my little stand. A bit tighter than that, I think. Where did my spatula glue? Here he is.
Don't know about
He's
another
been
one.
clamped. He's all furry now. God, you understand why woodworkers' places are all covered in, everything's covered in glue, isn't it? Okay. So I'm going to go along and put a bead of glue in there. Can you see that right?
Yeah.
Maybe zooming in. I have no idea how much is coming out.
Quite a bit.
Looks pretty liberal to me.
Yeah.
Car mechanics don't do woodwork, I've decided. I imagine that some of it will dribble out, but that's what the sanding person's for. Oh, I've got a big run down here. Oh my word. You might be a bit too liberal with this glue. Am I covering it on your side?
Yeah.
Okay, we've still got this butt joint to do here, haven't we?
Yeah.
So I need a little pry bar again. Oh, there's big runs of glue on this side.
Yeah.
Have you got runs on this side?
Yeah.
Okay, just prying that apart. And we need, if I've got a load of glue on my spat, I might just try and reuse some of this.
I did say liberal amount of glue.
I know, I don't like to see waste. Ooh, there's loads down here. I think we need some more. Okay, here we go. Beauty, it's like the applicator. Very good actually. Slap it on, Mr. Young.
The runs on that.
Shut up! Right. Okay. So I need my magic hammer and that bit of wood. So that. If it doesn't close up, it means we haven't drilled the holes deep enough. We're not far off at that. I don't want to spray all the glue out, so we'll rely on the clamp to do the last bit. So now it's clampy time, honey. Okay. So oh, we've got some nice clamps, look. Never used them before. Not going to look too proficient with them, but they've got these nice little bits here that keep the wood off the clamp. Least of my worries tonight. Right, we'll slide that all the way out. We've got 4 of these, so you put all of your tools on the other bench.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 4 clamps, approximately equidistant. We now need to move these little bits around a bit. That should work. I think we're up to 9 minutes yet. How long have you been filming for?
Hang on.
Should say in the corner.
Yeah.
4 minutes.
No.
Well, that's 4 fingers.
No.
What scale are you using? Okay, now,
You're about 8 minutes now.
okay, we're getting close. So that's needs to go on there.
Oh.
Okay, move Mr. Planter down a bit. One,
Oh, I see how they work.
2. 3. I think 3 needs to go on the other side of the vise. There he is. And 4. So let's do, yeah. Let's do 4 first. This is a new shirt. I'm going to glue over it. Come on, mister. Okay. Yes. I might have to do a couple of goes because there's still a gap.
You're out your 8 minutes for the glue.
You want?
You're over your 8 minutes for your glue
I've
now.
got 9. Tighten up, goddamn you! Come on. The hell? Oh, it's just walking. Maybe I have to do that with it. There. It's not actually closed up yet, is it?
No, the camera lady's holding wood too.
This end's pretty good. There we go. That's that one. That's that one. Ooh. So if you look down here,
I can't let go of the wood, love.
why not?
Oh,
Should be able to.
before it wouldn't do that.
We have a gap here, and then it closes up. There, look, goo. I like goo. And if you go and get me a nice wet cloth, we can wipe off the excessive glue. Oh, it flickers. It's terrible. This end is good. This end hasn't quite closed up yet, so I'm going to get me hammer and give it a little hammer. See if that's going to help. Oh yes. You never have enough clamps. Oh, that's looking brilliant. I'm pleased with those 2 spare clamps. Right, so we've got oozy glue here, not right at the end, all the way down here, all the way down, not quite coming out there. Oozy glue here, and all the way down to the bottom. Have you got your cloth? Lovely, thank you for that. So we'll just take the excess off with a damp cloth. I say excess, some of it. You have fun. Sorting this one out, aren't you, Ollie? There we go. Well, it is the ultimate glue, so I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Just the way it is. And I suppose in a different life we could have put a peg in there as well to keep them straight, but we are still going to be putting some timbers across. And I could put those across temporarily with some clamps to keep everything flat. Because these clamps, what they're trying to do is do this with the timber, lift it. So we should do that. We're going to get some more bits of wood and some more clamps just to make sure the whole thing stays nice and level. More clamps, jeez. Okay, do you want to start firing G-clamps at me?
Yeah.
Just standard metalworking G-clamps.
The big ones.
We're definitely not flat here, look.
Nope.
So we'll put some clamps on here. And that should help pull it nice and flat. And what that will also do is actually squash it together a bit more. Oh, I like that. That was a really good idea. What more glue's come out? Okay, never actually glued any wood in this workshop before.
What about that one?
Yeah, that'll all work. When you get a minute, I need one more clamp,
Yeah.
I think. It's a lot of clamps. This project has required so many clamps.
That work?
Yeah, that'll work. Looking a lot better now. Didn't look flat before.
No, it didn't.
You want to go on over there, do you?
I do. I got like that bit.
Did we see that bit on the camera? So Mrs. Mechanic spotted this bit here, so we're going to stick another clamp over that. Try and pull it into line. It's a bit long, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It needs a short bit.
Really short bit.
Short bit. Little bit.
Wow! Can't believe how many clamps we've got. We need a bigger workshop. Holy moly! Oh, still. I was expecting it not to want to come off now. That's actually closed up really well now, is that bit? That was the bit that we had no glue coming out of. This is the underside, by the way. It doesn't need to look quite as neat as the top. I'd say that the top's where you've got loads of runs on it, hasn't it?
Well, we can't see.
You can't see. Lots of sand in here. See, that one's closed up now as well. Well, that's it. Leave it till the morning. How many clamps? Count the clamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 clamps. No wonder nobody does woodwork at school anymore. Imagine being at school with 16 pupils that each need 16 clamps. It'd never happen, would it?
Nope.
Holy moly, it's been a long day and a hot day today. Right, I'm going to finish beside it, I'm going to pack up, and I'll see you tomorrow. And by that point, all this glue will be nice and dry, and we can do it all over again. Woo! Morning, crew. It is the next day, and all going to plan. That glue will have set rock solid. So let's get all the clamps taken off, see how it came out. Oh, I hope this worked. I really, really do. So many clamps. Many of which are not woodworking clamps. But hey, clamp's a clamp, right? Oh no. Come off. Yes. Oops. This is the underside. It is. Phew. It's good glue, there's no doubt about that. That was not too bad. Basically, it's stronger than the wood is. That's the bottom line. Come on. There's my hammer. Or a little bit of wood. There we go. Wow, look at that. Okay, just the main clamps on up and these. There we go. Back to the camera, Andy. It's not good, is it? Terrible photography. Okay. These are very nice clamps. Did a great job. Didn't mark the wood at all. Excellent protective pads. Okay, moment of truth. It is now one. That's a bit of glue. That'll give Mrs. Mechanic something to do. Although, to be fair, we can probably knock most of it off with a razor blade. Not quite lined up there. You want a close-up, don't you? Okay, like an X-Wing fighter. Here you go. Bit blobby on the underside. Ooh, flickery lights, sorry. Yes, it's not ideal down there. It's actually better than I thought it was going to be. I thought there was going to be glue all over the place, but there isn't. It'll easily clean up, not a problem. The important thing is, it is glued and it's also flat. That was a critical point to the job. We need that desk to be flat. So, well done Tight Bond at 3, ultimate wood glue, obviously the best glue in the world. If you know of any better glue, let me know. I've never used this stuff before, but it seems to be pretty good. Okay, so my next job, and one of the reasons why I came outside this wet, horrible day, is to glue up the other pair of planks, so the other half of the desk top, and get those underway for drying. I'm going to leave them till tomorrow morning, and then I'll be gluing the all four together, the two halves together, and then I'll be doing the same thing with the shelf. Now, there's no need for you to see any of that process because it's quite traumatic on my part. Things don't line up that well, and well, all we're doing is repeating what I've already done. So, by the magic of television, as James May would say, here is the finished glued desktop and shelf. Ping! Apologies, we didn't film it. Just on the first cut. Now, little top tip. This is the underside of the main desktop, the first one that's been glued together. So when you're using your rip saw, you want to cut it upside down basically, because otherwise it can cause the wood to splinter on the exit. And I don't mind the splinters being on the underside, but I want a nice clean cut on the top, which is down here. And the bits fell off, and we had lots of little bits of wood, and Mrs. Mechanic is now going to perform a glue strength test. Yes. So you come over here, honey. Turn the fan off. And we've got in the vise. This is the cut off, and that's one plank of wood, and that's another plank of wood, and that's another plank of wood, and of course that bit there is glued, and that bit there is glued. And see if you can snap it off at the glue. Just give it a shove sideways or forwards.
Not very strong. Oh. But that's not, that was just the wood.
Oh, you just broke the wood. Right, you take over with the phone. There you go. God damn it. Try again, but one more. We've got a few more to go actually, so we're going to recreate the experiment. So what will break first? The wood.
The wood.
Or the joint, the glue. What do you reckon?
The wood.
I'm flexing it. Oh, look at that. It's pretty good. Wow, that's good. This is the world's strongest glue, don't forget. Oh, wow. There you go. So it looks to me like half the glue failed here on this side, and then on this side, that's actually the wood that broke, isn't it? Yeah. See that? Look. So it's as strong as the wood, if not stronger. Very good. I like that. I wonder if I can do that one again. Maybe I can put that bit in the vise. This is a bit of the experiment that you wrecked, honey. Okay.
I didn't like it.
Right, ready? This is really, you can see the vice flex. Hang on, I'm going to do a palm shove. Look at that. So in this case, the wood broke completely, and the glue is stronger than the wood. Wow. The world's strongest glue. That's what we're using for this project. You can't get better. It's fantastic. Now, you'll be wondering what I'm doing here. And this is the underside of the top shelf. The main desk timber's already painted and it's installed, just not bolted up. On the main frames, oh, thank you much. On the main frames, the steel plates that these bolt to obviously have a weld line to the main horizontal box sections, and this is to give it clearance. So there's room for the weld and the timber doesn't sit on top of the weld. That's it basically. Right.
Crack on.
Where's my glasses? Oh, there they are. Ooh, pies are in the pie warmer, puppy. Can't wait. One more, I think. And I have to do that all the way around the timber. We'll start off at 1/2 mil. otherwise it'll splinter when we get to the end. Not very flat, is it? See how it's taking more off here than down here, and that's because this bit of timber is coming up like that. Quite a bit, actually. I might just clamp something on it to keep it flat. That's alright. It'll be flat when it's bolted into the frame. So all we're doing now is replicating that, you see. In fact, it'll have to go on the underside. So you're going to hold that one. You got it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Better. Thank God for a sander. Right, do that end and then we'll do the long one. This doesn't matter. Here, camera person. This doesn't matter because we're going to be chamfering that as well, so that'll disappear shortly. That'll be on the floor. Right. Maybe a little bit more. I'm only on 0.25 of a mil at the moment, just trying to minimise the splintery stuff. Grommet. Oh, right, I've got to spin it around now, honey.
Okay.
That'll do, Grommet. That'll do for me. What does Eric say? It's good enough for the girls I go with. Honey, P40 grit. This should chomp that wood away pretty quick. Right, here you go. It's good for you. It's over to you now. I've done my bit. I'm going to go outside and finish servicing, and I'll do some more servicing on an ROV from one of the surf clubs. See you later.
So Mrs. Mechanic finished off all the sanding and the painting. We didn't show to camera the making of the shelves for Workstation 2, for my workstation. Pretty much the same, much thinner planks, same process to glue them together with the pins. We had just enough dowel, steel dowel to do that. The steel dowels worked out brilliantly and helped to keep the timber in alignment. Bit weird, I'm sure that that's not what a lot of joiners do, but it worked for me, and I'm very happy that we came up with that idea, because we didn't have a biscuit machine. I would have used biscuits otherwise, but I think for the job that we were doing, using the steel dowels was actually a better thing, because those workstations may one day end up in a workshop. Just for interest, the paint that Mrs. Mechanic used to stain the timber, it took us a while to find this. This is made by a company called Pro Coat, and it's deck and exterior oil stain. It's not a varnish. The timber stays a matte finish once it's applied. We went for the black because we're going to be doing filming in the workstations. We wanted a dark background for any workpieces, so that the camera didn't react too much to bright light being reflected from the lights that'll be on the top of the workstation pointing down, especially on Mrs. Mechanic's workstation, where she's going to be making cards and that kind of thing. Too much reflective light and the camera just basically, the whole thing just goes dark. So this is the charcoal version. Now we went for a litre tin. I didn't think for 1 minute we'd use the whole tin, but there's hardly any left in there at all. She just about ran out, to be fair, and we didn't paint the underside of some of the timbers that you couldn't see. Anyway, let's head inside into my little office, or mine and Mrs. Mechanic's little office now, and go and take a look at these workstations all assembled. Now bear in mind, they've been assembled for a few weeks, they've been in use for a few weeks, they're not fully operational because there's still some lighting to put in there, and I've still got to work out where all the power sockets are going to go, because work in progress. Oh, and we did make a pin board for Mrs. Mechanic's workstation as well, which covers the full back, where she can pin up any bits of card and notices and bits and pieces. So work in progress stuff. That's one of the things she asked for, and we made that specifically for her workstation from raw materials. We didn't buy the pin board, we made it ourselves, which was fun. She helped me, and it was great. Okay, inside we go. So here we have Workstation 2. This is where I work, with its top shelf and the side shelves, which work really, really well. Over this side here, if we migrate down, I'm just busy editing this video up as we speak. We've got my old PC with lots and lots of old hard drives that contain all the old Andy Mechanic YouTube videos, and all the rushes and everything are all hidden away in those drives. Recently had a failure with the old monitor, so Ben's given me another one. I've got to plumb that in yet, and that gives me access to that laptop again, to that PC again. Sometimes I need to go in there and get old bits and pieces when I'm doing new intros and things. Remember these? The old headsets when we did the ultimate farm bike adventure across New Zealand. You won't have seen that yet. It's not hit the channel. It's still getting edited up. One day maybe. And the main work area, very, very happy with this. We've got the two monitors. They can be moved up, down and back, and also you can tilt them and everything. It's a really cool kind of mount that we got for that. And then a nice big desk area. So again, with the shelves being up, you've got the full length of the desk. And the roll cabs with, I can go right down here, look, with the super small casters. Very, very cool. That gives us a lot more room between the top of the roll cab and the desk top, which now is an additional shelf. So we've got some Teng tools under there. So we've got in-house toolkits, which of course is a must for everybody. Now at this end of the office, it's not finished yet. There'll be some kind of racking type system on there, which I'm going to make in exactly the same style as the workstations, but that won't be till later in the year, or maybe even next year. We'll have to wait and see. Now Mrs. Mechanic's workstation came out. This was the first one we built. Very, very similar style. She's got the nice big pin board at the back, and again she's got the two roll cabs, same wheels, same everything. But hers has no side shelves, completely open, and that's how she wanted it. So she's got the full worktop area to do her crafting on there, and a screen and a printer and stuff, which may well get tucked away somewhere else, we don't know yet. Again, work in progress. But I tell you what, didn't it turn out fantastically well? And it's a desk. One of the important aspects of this desk is the height. It's about 1 meter, well, you'll know from the previous drawings, above from the floor, so I can actually stand and work if I want to. You know, it's standing height. It's about hip height for me. And I've also got myself what we call an architect's or a draftsman's chair, which is basically a high height chair. So I can stretch my legs and stuff when I'm sat. So all in all, yes, very expensive, but B, worked out brilliantly. And the finish, I mean, look at this, absolutely brilliant. This is exactly how I wanted it, where you could see the grinding marks. You've got all the nice finish of the countersunk bolts. Every single part's labelled up and coded, so it's stamped on the part, and it's also stamped, you can just see it in there, look. It's stamped also on the actual frame itself, on the other bits. So it's like a giant jigsaw puzzle, because I was sort of planning ahead. One day it may not be me that disassembles this, so, you know, give them a head start and all that. So yes, right, back to the studio. So you can now see just how well those workstations came out. In my opinion, perfect. Using the roll cabs for the drawers was an expensive option, but also one that, you know, it's multifunctional. Those if we ever decide to pull those workstations out of the house in 10, 20 years time or whatever, when maybe we stop doing YouTube videos and Mrs. Mechanic finally gives up doing crafting, who knows, the roll cabs can be used in the workshop as well, so, you know, multi-purpose. One of the most expensive parts of the build were the caster wheels. The big casters on the workstations themselves were nearly $100 each. They're a very high quality caster, industrial type caster. And then I also went for the same brand again for the roll cabs. Now the roll cabs did come with casters from Teng, but they were a very tall wheel. And it turned out there wasn't quite enough clearance between the top of the roll cab and the underside of the workstation. So we went for much smaller casters, much better designed braking system on the casters as well, and a wider footprint on the wheel, so it spread the load of the roll cabs across more of the floor. Well, it's been a very long project building these workstations. I don't really know how helpful these videos will be to you, the viewer. You may be thinking of building something similar for yourself or in your workshop to use as a bench. If that's the case, then the design may help you with your design. What I will say is a tremendous amount of work went into making these two workstations. It took us a lot longer than we originally planned, especially the woodwork side of it. Because we started with timber, which was way too big in dimension, it needed lots of planing and cutting down and prepping, and some of that timber, and it all came from a pallet, don't forget, that brought a printing machine all the way from Italy into New Zealand, a 5-ton printing machine. So the wood was free, but because of that, it required a lot more prep work, and we had only just enough timber to make the shelves and the main worktop and the big shelf at the top as well for all the storage. There was a couple of bits of timber in there which realistically I would have preferred not to have used because it was a bit rotten, but we had no choice. If we hadn't done that, we'd have just run out. So and I didn't want to buy any more timber. I wanted to make it all from that one pallet, just to say that the timber came from Italy, basically. You know, it's just the way it is. Okay, crew. Well, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Apologies it's taken so long to get this last episode out on the channel. I've been extremely busy doing some other projects, putting a new roof on the workshop, which is now finished. It's brilliant. We don't get any more rainwater coming through the old roof. We've double skinned the roof for your interest. We've left the old workshop roof in place and put another roof about 1 foot above it. And what that's done is it's created a thermal barrier. So on a really hot day now, the workshop is a lot cooler than it used to be. Also, it's dry, and any rain noise on the roof is greatly reduced as well. It's so much cooler in here, so it's going to help with the videos, both with the audio, and you should see less sweaty shirts from Andy, which is only a good thing. Well, thank you again for all your support. If you've not subscribed to the channel, then why not click on the subscribe, ring the bell, and that way YouTube will send you notifications as and when any new videos go up. And there's already well over 800 videos on the channel, so you know, if there's a bit of a gap before the next one going up, why not dig into the archives? There's lots and lots in there, which makes great viewing, and most of them are quite educational as well, so you might pick up a few tips and tricks. You'll also find me on Facebook. You can message me through Facebook if you like as well, or why not send me an email to andymechanic@live.co.uk. I'll do my best to get back to you. I don't always get back to everybody. I am extremely busy. My day job takes up a lot of my time, unfortunately, but you know, that's what it is. That's why we have day jobs, right? Okay, crew, well, if you want to support the channel, you can do that through Patreon. Or you can send a direct payment through PayPal. Don't click the donation box, because if you do, PayPal will ask you for my charity number, and I'm not a charity. I don't have a charity number, so you just need to send it across as a payment. And if whatever you send across, be it $1, $10, whatever it is, or if you become a patron, that income stream, which is very small to be fair, but it does go back into the workshop and help us to buy resources and bits and pieces to make future videos. Okay, crew, it's time for me to crack on and do something else. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Over and out. And we get the pick up again.
Oh!
Really.